Have you ever thought, what if the world was a safe place to live? Today, we're talking about a topic that many have wished for years. What if North Korea just gave up its nukes? Imagine a world where North Korea is no longer a nuclear threat. Can you imagine it? I know, it seems too good to be true. But what if it actually happened? Now, before we dive into this topic, let's take a quick look at North Korea's history with nuclear weapons. North Korea's history with nuclear weapons dates back to the late 1980s when the country started developing its nuclear program. The country's first nuclear test was conducted in 2006, which caused international concern and led to several rounds of sanctions from the United Nations. In recent years, North Korea has made several agreements with the United States and other countries regarding its nuclear program. In 2018, North Korean leader Kimjongun met with US President Donald Trump in Singapore to discuss the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. However, these talks broke down and the country has continued its nuclear activities. In 2020, North Korea announced that it had developed a new, more powerful nuclear weapon and threatened to use it if necessary. This led to renewed international pressure on the country to give up its nuclear weapons. Despite these developments, the situation with North Korea's nuclear weapons remains complex and unresolved. The international community continues to seek a diplomatic solution that will lead to the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. How powerful are the nukes actually? What kind of power are we talking about? Nuclear weapons are weapons of mass destruction that release tremendous amounts of energy in an explosive manner. The power of a nuclear weapon is measured in kilotons or KT or megatons or MT of TNT equivalent, which is a unit of energy. A single kiloton of TNT is equivalent to the explosion of 1,000 tons of TNT. The power of a nuclear weapon is derived from nuclear reactions, specifically nuclear fission or nuclear fusion. A nuclear weapon can cause widespread destruction and loss of life through the release of nuclear radiation, blast, and heat. The effects of a nuclear explosion can be felt over a wide area and can have long-lasting consequences, including environmental contamination and increased cancer rates among the population. It's important to note that the use of nuclear weapons is widely considered unethical, and their possession and use is regulated by international law through the Non-Proliferation Treaty. The threat of nuclear war remains a concern for many nations, and the proliferation of nuclear weapons to additional countries remains a concern for global security. So what would happen if North Korea suddenly decided to give up its nukes? Well, let's find out. First of all, the world would be a much safer place. No more fear of nuclear weapons falling into the wrong hands or the threat of a nuclear war. Can you imagine a world without the fear of a nuclear disaster? Second of all, North Korea would suddenly become the world's most eligible bachelor. All the countries would be lining up to be its new best friend. The UN would be throwing parties left and right, trying to win North Korea's favor. And finally, it would open the doors for North Korea to become a part of the global community. They could finally join the rest of the world in making the world a better place. So there you have it. What if North Korea just gave up its nukes? A world without the fear of a nuclear disaster. The world vying for North Korea's attention, and North Korea finally joining the global community.